Hello, good evening, and welcome to another wonderful session of the ongoing Ugwumba Enterprise Challenge 2023 Boot Camp. As usual, my name is Tremi Chukwunyere, and today our guest and the speaker is Dr. PrIscilla Okechukwu. She's not a new person to Ugwumba Leadership Center and to the Ugwumba enterprise ecosystem. She has been a major facilitator and a partner over the years. So today she'll be discussing design thinking for innovation. Design thinking for innovation. I will not tell you about her. She will do that herself. But let me just leave you with this. You are having the session at this time because she's joining us from the US. That's why uh, we didn't uh, we didn't have it by 2 p.m. as usual. So sorry for the inconveniences this may have caused you. Dr. Priscilla is a computer engineer by training, and she has done amazing things. I'm sure she will mention some of them when she takes over from me. Doctor, this is your community, and we have about 1,200 participants this year. But I know that most of them will not be joining us as usual. But then just take it that you're speaking to the 1,200 participants from across the country, from faraway Zamfara, Medugri, um, where is it again? Akwa Ibom, all those states across the country. So that is how far we have gone. Some of them are already here. So let me allow you to do justice to what you know how to do very, very well. Design thinking for innovation. Over to you.
Thank you. Yes, you're welcome to this course, Design Thinking for Innovation. Like Mr. Remy has introduced me, I'm very happy to be in your midst this evening. Um, I'm PrIscilla Okechukwu. I I am the CEO of Pixaweb Technology, and I'll be taking you on the design thinking. Presently, I am one of the alumni of Tech Women, honored by the U.S. Department of State. So I'll be happy to take you through this process. Sometimes it's a bit difficult because design thinking course is a practical course, but I'll try my best in this 1 hour to see how I give you the knowledge you need for you as startup to be able to, you know, have a feasible project, very feasible and innovative project to run with. Okay, so I'd like to start this course now, and I hope you're all joining me. If you're joining me, I'd like to see in the chat. Let me just know that you're with me. I want to see comments. If you're with me, I want to see comments. And so that will help me to move and to be sure that you're with me. Okay. So, what is design thinking? We have to start with that. What is design thinking? Now, I'd like to give us the definition from Tim Brown, the CEO of IDEO. He says design thinking can be described as a discipline that uses the designer's sensibility and method to match people's needs with what is technologically feasible and also viable with viable business strategy that can convert customers' value and give you market opportunity. So if you look at this, there are some key elements you have to understand in design thinking. One, the designer, the one who has the idea, the one who has the project. Okay? And then the people, the need of the people. Are you meeting the need of the people or your customers? Okay. And then you ask again, is it technologically feasible? Can the present technology or the available technology assist or work to make sure that you have a viable business with a viable strategy that will help you meet the customer need? So, having said this from IDEO's definition and explaining it, you will find out that design thinking is something that you should use because big companies use it, and they use it to refine their product to be able to get a better product because it will give you feedback from customers, and it is agile in terms of the technology or principles being used. Okay. Now, like I told you that the need, you have to understand the customer need, and you should know that design thinking is human centric. When I talk about human centric, I mean that it's at the middle for the innovation you're going to be giving out, the businesses you're going to be launching very soon. You'll find out that you need to understand your customer need, the customer's need. And so that is why it is human centric design. In this human centric design, you look at how valuable the business is, you look at the technology you're going to use, and the value it gives to your customer. And once this is achieved, then you're in the right track of understanding what design thinking is all about. Okay, now I know you may have done ideation in one of your courses, maybe, but in design thinking, we have other processes, and these are practical courses, but I will try to move fast as I can so that you can understand how you can define your problem statement, move to the ideation stage where you develop a solution that can now meet the needs of your customer, and then you're happy to have a prototype. And from the prototype you have an MPV, which is a minimum viable product, sorry, minimum viable product. And then you now understand how, when you test it, when you launch initially to the market, how people receive it, the feedback they give to you, and you bring it back into the process to see if you're going to refine the product and then get something that customers would want to resonate with. So there are 5 stages of design thinking. We have the empathize, we have the define, we have ideate, we have prototype, we have testing. So we will be looking at that. So now in design thinking, I want you to know that it is not sequential in the sense that it is iterative, meaning it is a non-linear iterative process whereby it doesn't go from one step to another and just stop there. From the third stage, you can go back to the first stage. From the first stage, you can go back to the fourth. And from the fifth, you can go back to the second, meaning that it is iterative. It gives you feedback, and you plunge your feedback back into the process, and then you keep refining to get the best product out of your processes and your design. Okay, now you have to also understand that in design thinking, since it is human centric and it depends on innovation, you have to know your value proposition. What is the value you're giving to your customers? What are the values you're giving to the users? What are the value your innovation is bringing? So you must know that. So innovation is based on human needs over the technological advancement. So always put that at the back of your mind, that at the end of the design thinking, you should be able to have a minimum viable product and have a value proposition to give to your customers. Okay. And so when you're doing this design thinking also, you will now have what is called the creative confidence. You build confidence in yourself because you're getting feedback, you're bringing it out to people to see, to criticize, and also to get maybe recommendation also. So that makes you have a creative confidence, because once you have that creative confidence, you're able to fly with the product or the project or the idea. And it also helps you to narrow down on how the scope of your project idea or the business you want to launch. All right. So now, what is creative confidence? The mindset also helps you to align your confidence to your goals. So creative confidence is the notion that you have big ideas. So many of you have big ideas and you are like, how do I make this come to reality? I'm so happy that Ugwumba Enterprise Challenge is a platform for you to showcase what your ideas are, and then you'll be able to run with it with their support. So today I want you to understand how to craft a good business idea and make it feasible for you to be able to run with it and be able to make it reality to yourself and to the world. So creative confidence is a notion that you have big ideas and you have the ability to act on them. Okay, David Keller found that ideal. That's it. So you must have a big idea, a dream. You must dream big and then believe that that dream can come to reality. And so once we know that, we'll now know that yes, we are about to plunge into the design thinking stages, and then we're able to understand the stages and see how we can implement the importance of these stages into our own projects or business idea. Now, the case study for this example I want us to do is start thinking about how you can redesign a gifting process. Now, if you're able to think about this, you will now relate it to your own project or your business idea. You relate it to it. Now, let's say, for example, you have a friend and you want to give a gift to that your friend. There's a process to doing that and to knowing the kind of gift you can give to your friend that will make your friend very happy. So this is the case study we're going to use here, redesigning the gifting process. Now you have two people. Now, if you are listening to me, I'd like you to take a minute or two, think about what kind of gift do I want to give to my friend. Now you start putting your ideas down. Design thinking will help you to think, it will provoke your thoughts, it will help you to think far, and then it will also help you to brainstorm even with other friends if you are not too sure of what you want to give. Oh, you now go, you know this person, you know friend A, what do you think she would like? You can write those things down. And by the time you are done, you'll be able to narrow down some of the results you have gotten, and then you'll be able to know the best gift you want to give to your friend. That is the process I want us to think about. When you think about it, in 1, 2 minutes, you put them down, you'll find out that you are able to bring out an important need of that your friend. And then when you go buy or present that gift to that your friend, the friend will be very happy because the friend will be shocked because you have done some little research, background research, maybe among families, maybe among friends that are friends to that your friend. And before you know it, you have gotten something that the person truly, truly needs. And when you present it, the person is happy. Now, if at the end you didn't present the right gift to the person that will make the person very happy, it is a feedback to you to know that this person really don't really like this gift. But what do I do next time? It makes you understand the person, it makes you know what to do, and that is what I want you to take as a case study today. But also, you will now talk to me about your own projects. What are your business ideas? That's why I want to know if you're with me. Just put your business idea. I want to see your business idea. So if your business idea and your project as your startup idea, your businesses, put them on the comment chat, the chat. I will look at them and I will see them. So I want this to be interactive if it is possible. So if it is possible, you can just put them on the chat. I will look at them and then we'll go as we move. All right. So the first stage of design thinking is empathize. Now, if you're looking at that gifting process, like I told you, you empathize. You empathize in the sense that you have to understand what your customer needs, what your customers need. You have to put yourself in their shoes. You have to understand what they feel. You have to know what they want to know, what they want to say, how they want to present it. So you must be, like a layman's definition, it says, you must be in their shoes. Okay, so this is the first stage of design thinking, which is known as empathize. All right. Now, in empathize, it is the ability to share and connect with the feeling of another. Okay, so empathize drives the value proposition, like I explained earlier, of the design thinking process. So that value proposition, what you want to meet the need of your customer, very important. Because if you have a business, you're starting up a business, you already have a business, you want to scale up, you need your customers. Because without the customers, your business will not be viable. Without the customers, you will not be able to, understand feedback and make what you're doing using the agile principle of going back and redefining or refining your products. Okay. Now, empathize requires what? What does it require? Understanding other people's perspective. Yes. So sometimes I used to use the fists, the fists when you close your arm and you have a fist. If you push it out, you find out that when looking at the fist from different perspectives, people are seeing the fist differently. You can see you have the fist being seen differently. People in front seeing that my fingers are closed. People by the side are seeing some fold, and the people behind are seeing that it's a closed fist. So these are perspective about life. So that is why when you want to start a project, you need to understand going on the first stage, which is empathize stage, empathize with people, go out and do research. We'll get to that point. You do research, you put yourself in people's shoes, understand what they want so that it will help you to do what? To be able to design perfectly what you need to design to meet people's needs. So understanding their perspective. Abstain from judgment. You don't need to be judgmental. You need to have an open mind when it comes to empathize. There's always a point where you say yes and yes, everything that you need, even if it is not according to what you're thinking about, put them down. A time will come you'll have to filter, you have to have a time you brainstorm on it, and then you have a lateral thinking where you can now have the right info based on the different persona. We come to persona, persons and unique characteristics of people, and then you'll be able to do what? To understand that this project, this business will meet these people. It will help you to carve your own niche in your business. It will help you to know that this business is feasible. These are the importance of design thinking and then going through the first stage of empathize. Are you with me? Okay. Now, empathize is not sympathy at all. It's not the same thing. In sympathy, sometimes when things happen to you, you say, "Oh, sorry," and then you move on. But in empathize, you feel with that person. Oh, how do you go? What do we do? How do we make it better? You're empathizing because you want to understand the feeling, the behavior of the person, the environment the person is. And that is when you move forward further and then you ask more. Yes, that is the difference between empathize and sympathy. Okay. Now, the act of investigating the potential of a product or service by studying existing users, like I said, and is what we call the what we call empathy. All right. So, good design is grounded in a deep understanding of the person you want to design for. Okay, and so that is that. And then we have different kind of needs. We have the functional needs and the emotional needs. So when you are looking at the functional need, the needs, the function of your product, the function of your business idea, the need, you must understand that functional need and also emotional need. Is it going to add up positively to the person's life? Is it going to be a negative impact on that person? So you need to understand it, how they do, how they use the product, and how they feel about the product. If you're able to put down these things when you go for your interviewing, it will help you. So as you put down these things, many as you do that when you go for your interviewing, because it's very important when you are empathizing to go talk to people, do some research, find out how the users in the environment see your business idea. You need to do those things. At a point when you are doing this, you will now get insight. Very important. You're now going to have insight. Now, the insight says what? It gives you that aha moment, that point where you say, Eureka, that point where you say, oh, yes, I've gotten an insight about this project. I've gotten an insight about this business, how I'm going to run with it. I've gotten an insight about the use of this project by the users. So that remarkable time of realizing the needs from the field of research you have done, Okay, you could now leverage on it to start doing a design that can meet the needs and the challenge of your user. That is called a aha moment. Okay, now there are different methods you can apply when you're using your empathize stage. You will call what we have the mind mapping. In the mind mapping stage, okay, in the mind mapping, here you want to emphasize the user's behavior, their functional needs, the environment, the environmental needs, and also the feelings. Okay, so when you put this, you just gather all information and map it. Is it religion? What is it? Is it affecting it? Is it making them happy? All those things. Just is how mind mapping works. Then you map it to that point where you have empathy because you're empathizing with the person. Is it affecting that person economically? Is it affecting the person in form of religion? Is it affecting the person's status? You write all those things. By the time you come back to do your brainstorming, you'll be able to know the kind of product that will meet the niche or customer niche you have carved for yourself. Is it making sense? All right. So this is what mind mapping is, a method you can use in empathize. The second method we also use in empathize stage is what we call the ethnography. In this ethnographic, now you're going to be looking at how the activities, what you want to do will affect the activity, the environment, the interaction with the user, your observation. Okay, so the goal here is to build empathy, learn about your users' experiences, and understand the world via different perspectives, like I explained. Okay, it could be through observation, qualitative interview. So you need to know that you need to do some interviews, go out, do your research, do your interview. Okay, there are ways you can look at this interview. You can have positive deviants. Okay, positive deviants, these are people sometimes that have positivity to the extreme. Don't overlook them. Take all their important things that they want to give to you, put it down, it will help you. So you also have the extreme users who interact with the product or experiences significantly to be below or above average. These are people. So you consider every stage, every cadre. They could be those at the extreme who are too intelligent. Take their knowledge. So as you go, you do these things, you'll be able to understand what the needs of a customer is very important, and align it with your project goals and align it with the reality you want to have for your project, your business, and the ideas you are about to launch. Very important. So these are interview tips you have to look at. You ask why, you embark on awkward silence. Okay, so if there's awkward silence, body gesture is also an information. Understand what people are saying. Record everything. Nothing is a waste. As you record them, you will come back to a point where you will feel that if you have a team, you have to have a brainstorm. We'll get there. Okay, pay attention to non-verbal cues. Like I told you, gestures, pay attention to that. Ask open-ended question, not a question that is closed, in the sense that when somebody asks you a question, you will say yes or no. It is not a yes or no answer. Sometimes let there be a leading question. When you say A, and the person will say yes, no, no. Let the person put a question where when you ask a question, hello, how are you? If the person says fine, so how is your family? Fine. How are your studies? Oh, I hope everything is fine. You know, you just have some questions that will help you lead the person on so that the person can give you information and be friendly about it. As for specific instances and stories, if you need to talk about something so that somebody will be engaged. Okay? Now, this the exercise you have to do is to go out today, go out and do your interview. Very important. Now we've talked about empathize. Empathize with your users. Go out, know what they feel about this product, get information. It will give you insight. And I tell you, you'll be happy to be in that aha moment of your project or of your business. Okay, now the next stage we're looking at is the define stage. In this defined stage, it is the stage where you define your sorry, where you define your problem statement, the problem you want to solve, the problem your product is about to solve, the problem your project is about to solve, the problem your business idea is solving. Okay. Yeah, so it helps organize information you gathered from your empathize stage. You analyze observation to define the core problems and also define the problem and the problem statement because it is related to human and it is human centric. And then you have to understand the technology available to make your problem statement more viable and then be able to meet the needs of your customer. Now, in this stage, there are two stages you have to understand in the definition stage of your design thinking. Now, you have to look at the sensitizing, that the synthesis. Okay, here is it's about editing and condensing down observation. Those insights you have gotten, you are bringing them together to find core needs and area of innovation. So that will help you when you group them. You're able to, okay, synthesize and say, okay, I have grouped all this information. How do I find the core needs of these people? And then you move to the analysis stage where you will now break down those complex concepts you have grouped and say, oh, more people need this in this cadre, in this area. It will help you to have a market need. So from there, you'll be able to know the design, where to start from. It doesn't stop you from scaling up. This definition stage help you to know the different areas, different behavior, and different needs of customers so that when you want to scale up in the future, you'll be able to say, okay, I have met the need of this group of people, this um, target, my target, customer target. Now I want to see how I'm going to target the other group of people. So it helps you if you're able to go through this stage of definition, putting down all the insights you have gotten from your empathize stage. It will help you when you're doing your analysis to be able to craft out your problem statement. So avoid confirmation bias. Okay, don't be biased in when you get information. Okay, don't go into assumptions when you are taking down your insights and writing down and grouping these things, synthesizing them, analyzing them. Don't be judgmental also. Don't jump into conclusion. Be open-minded. Okay. Okay. Another method you need to understand when you're doing your definition stage, okay, you have to tell stories also. Okay, now storytelling are wired for us to know things and remember things. So when you tell stories, you are able to do what? To be able to bring out information. Some people like to tell stories. Why some people share their during interview when they are giving you interview, they tell you stories. From their stories, I think you need to jot down key moments or insights when you're doing that. Okay, you sort out insight like I've said, and then you understand that. So in the another method you can use in your definition stage, that's the define stage, is what we call the empathy map. Remember that empathize is not the same as definition. We are finished with empathize. Now in a definition, we have a map called the empathy map. What do we use it to do? We use it to write down what people feel, think, and say. So from there, you'll be able to define the problem. So it's just a kind of map you use in your definition stage. So I would like you, as you are defining your problem, draw out an empathy map. You can have a template like this on Microsoft Word, just have it into four. You say, seeing, what are people seeing about my product? What are they saying about my product? Okay, what are they feeling about my product? And what am I hearing about the product? Just put them down. It is good to put these things down because it will help you have a reference of what you're doing. It will help you understand the need and critical problems. If you don't put them down and you put them in your head, most times you forget about them. But when you write them down, it helps you to understand. That's the empathy map. So I'd like you to do something like this for your project using the empathy map. And then by the time you have gone to do your research in your empathize stage, you're able to bring out an empathy map, which will help you to do this. Yes. All right. Now we want to look at the empathy map example. Now look at this empathy map example. We have where people have put say, does, and then think and feel. Are you seeing that? Yes. So we have to look at empathy map, example, what are they saying? What do they, so you have a post-it, you can post it when you do these things and it will help you. And then from there, you'll be able to get the pain and the gain of your customer. When you understand the pain, that is a problem. And then the gain, then you know that there is going to be a solution to that problem. Okay, so this will help you bring out what people, the core needs of your customers when you are designing either in a project or in a business. All right, so now we are looking at the empathy map. I have told us I want us to do an exercise of it. If it is possible, you can just do take like 5 minutes and do your own empathy map so that you'll be able to bring out some problems, what you have gathered from your interview. And the purpose is to help you build empathy for the user and separate out the different aspects of your user experience. All right. So there are also another method, like the first method I told us about in this stage is storytelling, the interview, and then we talked about the empathy map. Now we are looking at the 2 by 2 map. In 2 by 2 map, for example, you're looking at many personnel, many people, just two people, more than two people. But in empathy map, you are using one personnel, that's one person with unique feature to generalize, to say, okay, this person, this person, this person. I think that this is the problem and this will solve this problem. But if you look at 2 by 2, if you need to represent two personnel, two people, you will look at it. Now, form factors and utility. It could be that somebody wants to have a car. Let's take an example of what we're seeing here. Somebody wants to have a car for the purpose of fun, luxury, and another person wants to have a car for the purpose of utility, to meet some utility needs. So it depends. So you can now put the kind of cars that will be needed for form factors and also put the kind of car that is rugged and needed for utility. So if your project is that kind of project that could meet needs of two or three people, you organize it and know the kind of product that will meet those people. If it is a car industry that you have, or if it's a software um, um, business that you have. So you know the different software that will meet enterprise solution, different software that will meet customer experiences. So by the time you're able to map out this kind of statement for your for definition state and in your definition state, then you'll be able to understand the needs of the customer. Okay, some people use journey map. So for us, I would like you to use your empathy map. Empathy map to be able to bring out your insight, what people say, what people are feeling about your product, your idea. So if you're able to do that, that will help us. So customer journey is also good. Some people use it to also know their journey from the point where they start and the point where they meet the customer needs. Okay, so you can use the customer journey map to define it, to bring out your problem definition or problem statement. Okay, now another one I'd like us to use is a stakeholder map. Now it depends on who and what your product is, or what your business idea is, or what your businesses are. Now, for a stakeholder map, you have to have a list of all your stakeholders. When you have the list of all your stakeholders, okay, for example, if it is in a medical or doctor in a medical environment, okay, you can decide to put all the stakeholder, family, health, the patient is sick, the pharmacy store, all those people who will contribute to the health of that person. Now you can see that the person who is the customer is at the middle, is the center of the stakeholder map. And then what you do, all the people needed to be able to bring out this information for this person in a stakeholder map, you will bring them out and then group them. If they are in the family group, you group them as family group and link it to that person because they are going to give support. If it's a doctor and health, you group it and name it doctor and health and other support group. That is how to do a stakeholder map. Now, for the stakeholder map, you need to have the list of your stakeholders. Then you start grouping them, those who fit in the same group, and give them a label and tag. By the time you do this, you'll be able to know how this stakeholder map will help you define the problem of this person. Now, the problem here is a patient who is diabetic. Now, this patient who is diabetic has a problem and they need to be solved. Where need the support of the family to be able to go to the hospital to get the right treatment. And then you think, what are the right treatment? What are the kind of treatment that this person needs? Now, the doctors are able to give you solutions and give you prescriptions that will help the person look good. Then support group could be from friends, could be from companies, could be from people around. So you can have all those support groups, and then that will help you understand the problem of a diabetic, what the solution would now be. All right. So once you have the problem, you start thinking, I have this problem, I'll be able to identify this problem. So what are the solutions? So that's how the definition stage goes. Now, in abstraction, that's another method. We've mentioned about four. In abstraction, here you are looking at how you move on the abstraction ladder. In this abstraction ladder, you're asking why, and also you are moving and asking how. So you move up and down the ladder. How? Why? At the end, you're going to be having, at the middle, you're going to be having your problem statement, the challenge of the users, the issue of the users, and then you have a problem statement. As you move up the ladder, for example, if we want to ask a question, let's say we want to treat jaundice in babies, for example. Okay, so in the why, you ask, um, why do baby have jaundice? You understand me? You put it down. And then you come down, you say, how do people treat, how can this jaundice be treated? All the relevant questions you need to ask in the why, you state them up there on the why. And then the how, you bring out possible solution on the how. So this is an abstraction ladder. It helps you to bring out a problem statement. Okay, for example, in that one, we're looking at the device, which is a jaundice. What device are we going to use? You can now use it. You can now say the device are quite expensive. Hospital in rural areas or in the urban areas cannot afford it. So there's need to treat jaundice. How do we, you put a statement that will help you have a problem statement for treating jaundice. So this abstraction laddering or ladder, okay, helps you to do what? To go through the ladder up and down so that at the end you're able to have a problem statement. All right. So in this defined stage, you need to understand that all these methods given to you they're all very useful, but you can adopt one or two to meet your business idea, to meet your project, and to be able to specify or explicitly bring out the problem of your customers so that you can meet their needs. Now we will be looking at, I've talked about persona. Personas are unique people with unique features, experiences, and behavior. So once you're able to have a persona, you can relate them to having a name. You can say Ada whenever you want to do, you call the person's name. So you are creating a persona which will help you to actually identify the problem of that person. Okay, now we want to look at how we can now craft out a problem statement. After having known all this, now we need to understand that for you to be able to craft out a problem in your definition stage or define stage, you need to understand what is called the point of view. The point of view is what we call how a point of view is refining, okay, your problem statement, your POV. We call it the POV, defines the challenge you would want to track, okay, and then it will help lead to the ideation phase where you can now start bringing out your solution. Okay, now the POV includes detailed description of who you are designing for, the persona, along with what their specific problem is. Your POV should be based on a deeper understanding of your specific user, their needs, and your most essential insight about them. All right, so this is what the POV is. I'll be showing you example of a POV. Point of view helps you to define summarily what your problem statement is. Let's look at this challenge. We define the ground experience at the international airport. Now this is a POV, okay? Ground experience. Let's say, for example, um, parents who have children, they are in the airport and then their flights were delayed. So how do you redefine the ground experience so that the children will not be making a noise, they will not be disturbing? So this is the problem. Okay? It is a problem. So now look at the POV. Harry, which is the personnel, like I explained to you, mother of three, rushing through the airport only to wait hours at the gate. Okay? You have defined and explained the personnel. Rushing through the airport and only to wait at the gate. Now look at needs a way to entertain her playful children because annoying little brat only irritates already frustrated fellow passengers. So the problem here is they need a way to entertain those playful children because they are already annoying the frustrated passengers. So if you look at the POV now, the problem is how the children are doing what? Are distracting and also disturbing the passengers. Now you need to find a way to solve that problem. Now, this is a template for you to use if you want to do your POV statement. Okay? Your targeted user, which is Harry, okay? You have explained who Harry. Harry, a mother of three, rushing to the airport. You can add some little description of the persona, the customer you want to meet. You can just use one persona because it will help you um, give a broader view of the need of other users after you have done your empathize, you have done interviews and all that. Now, when you come here now, it will help you to bring out your problem statement. So I like to have this problem statement sent to me and then I review and I'll be very happy to have them. So you have your target user needs a way to do something. How I wish I can hear from one or two of you what your project is. Okay, let's take an example. If it is a software project, okay, we can say Ade needs a way to do what? To curb exam malpractices because students are indulging in yeah, are indulging in exam malpractices or students are failing as a result of exam malpractices. Insights. Your research shows that students are failing as a result of exam malpractices. So, Ade needs a way to curb exam malpractices. As simple as that. So relate it to your project or your business and know what the problem you're doing and bring it out as a POV statement. It will help you when you are doing your ideation. In that your ideate state, you'll be able to bring out solution. You'll be able to start thinking of how do I solve this problem. So the POV leads you to a point where you will start talking about how might we, how might we, how might we do this, how might we do that, questions. So the how might we start with HMW. POV, point of view, helps you to define the problem statement. And then the how might we, very good. Some of you may not have understood what how might we is. So from that problem, if you look at the abstraction laddering, you have the how, you have the why, and you have the how. So this is how it comes in your definition stage. You get your POV, that gives you the why, the what you want to solve, the problem statement. You bring it out, and then you start asking, how might we? How might we? The how might we will help you. How might we questions will help you bring out the solution that will lead to your ideation, where you now brainstorm and do your lateral thinking and bring out a refined solution that will now meet the need of your customer. So let us go and see how we can do the how might we statement. How might we questions are short questions that launch brainstorming. See, how might we accede for your ideation, like I told you earlier, okay, to fall out of your point of view statement. So it's a fallout. It comes out from your point of view statement, design principle, or the insight you have gotten, which has helped you to define your problem. Please use the template for the POV, it will help you. The POV, the how might we, okay, will help you. The empathy map or the stakeholder map, those four, you can use them to bring out your insight, the problem, and then let's move to the how might we statement. Okay, now we want you to formulate how might we from what example I have given and also from your own project. Okay. Now, when you are doing the how might we, you should understand. Still, let's look at the airport experience. Okay. Harry, mother of three, rushing through the airport only to wait for hours at the gate, needs a way to entertain her children because annoying little brat only irritates already frustrated fellow passengers. So, for you to be able to get your how might we, look at it. One, there's a way we call the amp the good, that's amplify the good. You now say HMW, use the kids' energy to entertain fellow passengers. So you say, how might we use the kids' energy to entertain fellow passengers? You're amplifying the good. These kids have energy and they are running up and down. Is it not better to find a way to use their energy, maybe through dancing? They're able to, entertain the passengers while they are waiting. Another method you can use is called the remove the bad. How might we separate the kids from fellow passengers? You may decide to now have a playground or somewhere designed that you can ask, okay, let all the kids come here and you engage them. And passengers, adults, they're somewhere and they are not disturbed by the kids. Okay, that's another method. Another way is explore the opposite. How might we wait? Okay, how might we make the wait most exciting part of the trip? Now you say, how might we? Is it that you have to get something like engaging videos, engaging maybe film that can engage everybody? These are the things you have to look at. Question and assumption. How might we entirely remove the wait at the airport? So these are questions. Many questions can come out of this. This is just the kind of questions you get when you are doing your brainstorming on how might we. So if you're able to get your POV, as you get your POV, defining the different statements, you can have many POVs and then you have many how might we questions to be able to now help you in your ideation stage when you want to brainstorm to narrow down. Yeah. So I want to leave this exercise with you also so that you can now do the how might we. Okay, the how might we emphasizes your question of how you want to achieve the solution. Okay, emphasize that the how might we is specific yet open-ended. All right, so you try and do that and write your how might we, but you have to start with HMW. That is how about writing out your how might we. Okay, now we're looking at the ideation. That's the ideate stage, which is the third stage of design thinking. Yeah, I'm trying to run through to give you an idea of all this because it's really a practical course. Most times we do this practical so that you understand. But if you understand what these are, you'll be able to do them on your own and then submit if you want to submit to me for review. All right, and then you can get in touch with me if you're getting confused. Ideation is a creative process where designers generate ideas in session. Okay? Example, you brainstorm. These are techniques. Brainstorming, what's possible ideas. Okay? You brainstorm. No idea is useless. Every idea in terms of brainstorming, ideation is very important to put them down. The idea address a problem statement. Sometimes people worry a lot about exposing their ideas to other people, okay, because they think they will copy it. But I want you to know that you don't need to worry. Ideas are not the main thing, because a lot of changes can be done based on your definition, empathize. You find out two people are having the same, but they have different approach to achieving what they want to achieve. The business models are different. Their value propositions are different. So you cannot have the same project, even if it is named and seem to be the same. But there are some things that will be different when you are doing your project, because you're going to have feedback, because design thinking process is iterative. It is not serial. You can come back with the feedback when your customers are giving you feedback, and then you refine your project. Okay, so after the brainstorming, when it comes to your brainstorming, you find out that you have, look at this diagram, lateral thinking. At the end, you come out with something very important that will not meet the needs. Initially, you have several different ideas, but as you keep brainstorming and narrowing it down, grouping them as we do in synthesis and analysis, you'll be able to narrow down, so that you can now have something that is very, very, very good, that will meet the need of your customer. The process of ideation. Okay, now you are ideating, you are brainstorming. You don't you have an open mind, you are not judgmental. At the end, you're going to have something. So that is brainstorming. It helps, it's a method of collaborative, spontaneous idea generation related to that specific problem. When you brainstorming, like I told you, you are not judgmental. You always say yes and yes when you are brainstorming. Get all the yes, nothing is no. Go for quantity, plenty. Get plenty ideas and put them down. Then it should be radical. Okay, now give everyone a space to talk if you're in a team, because in brainstorming you need to have a team. And I want you to know that in business and in project, you must have a team. You don't run alone. Your team is the solid force you need when you are coming up as a startup, and also when you have a project that you want to launch, it will be helpful. Okay, and then in that your brainstorming section, you can ask some questions. We call them the provocative statements, PO. Okay, this PO statement helps you to provoke people to talk. All right, so always have that at the back of your mind when you are brainstorming and when you are working as a team. You can now, in that brainstorming session, have some provocative statements where you can say, okay, ask some questions that can provoke people. What are the two key elements of tension in your design thinking? You can look at those things and then look at how you can ask some provocative questions. For example, you can say, PO, cups are made of ice. You will stop and think, isn't it? So that is provocative. Okay, when you ask somebody, no, now somebody, you are provoking somebody to talk. So learn to use provocative statement when you are doing your brainstorming in addition. Okay, PO, you only dial one digit on the phone, which it's not. Sometimes it is one digit for an emergency call, but most times it is not correct, not just one digit. It depends on the number of digits that is being used. Okay, these are provocative statements. All right. Now the brainstorming, come up with, like, now I want you to come up with 10 provocative statements. Is it possible you can come up with 10 for your own startup ideas, for your project, for your business idea? Come out with 10 provocative statements, and when you come out, you start asking, how might we? Also come out with 50 answers of your how might we, if possible. Okay, let's reduce it to 20. 10, 20. Come out, how might we do this? If it is more than that, write all of them down. Go and get a plain sheet, maybe an A3 paper, and then you start writing those provocative statements. By the time you do all those things, you find out that you have put them down correctly, and then you're able to group them and be able to have solution that this will fit into your um, the MPV, the solution you want to give, okay, the viable product you want to give. Now we want to look at the prototype. We have talked about empathize, we have talked about defining, we have talked about ideation, okay, and now we want to look at the prototype. Here it is where you will now say, okay, I've been able to get a solution based on the how might we questions. Now, this is a solution. This will now help you to be able to develop what we call the minimum viable product. So, what is the minimum viable product? Okay, it's a product that have enough features for you to launch initially to meet the customer needs, because that will help you do what? Get feedback now from your customers to say, this has met this has not met this, you need to refine this. These are the feedback we're getting from this your project. Now this your project, in terms of the prototype, could be like a mock-up. You may be able to have a mock-up, maybe a physical product. Okay, it could be a physical product. For example, it could be a cream. For example, it could be something like maybe a cup, something physical. That could be your project. That those type of prototype are called mock-ups. Okay, you can use something to design it and then bring it out so that people will see that it's a prototype, and then you can now launch it initially. Let people try, test. It could be on a pilot phase. You can do that. It could be a software. It could be services. Okay, you could have simulation of it, and then people will try it and also give you feedback. If it's a software, sometimes people use Figma to design this software, and then people will now try it out. Or if you already have it as a software, you have launched it, and you want people to try it, people will try it. Okay, have a trial period and then give you feedback, and then you'll be able to say, yes, this product is commercially ready. Are you with me? It could be storyboarding, it could be a book. Okay, you have the book, you have done it. It could also look like a mock-up, and then you want people to read and give you feedback. You to go for several reviews and all that finally before you say, I have to publish and then I have to run with it. So these are prototyping. In prototyping, if you prototype and then as you are in the prototyping stage, you already have it. Remember, people will test it. Prototype leads to testing, and then testing is the last stage. Okay, it's an example of mock-up you build, and people will try to use it, and then in that using, people are giving you feedback, which leads us to what we call the testing stage. Now, at this testing stage of your design thinking. Yeah, it is the best stage so far, and among all of them, they are all the best. So, telling you that all the stages are needed in design thinking for you to be able to have a very feasible innovation, and it helps you to become creative. So, when you are testing your product, you need the feedback of your user. That is why design thinking is human centric. You do not assume, you are not judgmental, you do the right thing, and then you get the feedback, and it helps you to refine your product while you go back and then make it better for you to meet the standard, the quality that customers would need. All right. Now, testing. Designer go through this stage. Okay. They edit, they refine. Okay. In this stage, testing is a chance to refine solutions and make them better. Now, prototype as you are right. You understand? When you prototype, you have the creative confidence that you are right. And then when you test as if you know you are wrong. So when you test, open your mind for criticism. You test as if you're wrong. Let people just say, yes, you're wrong. This is not okay. Take it back. An example is when the big shots here in Silicon Valley, okay, when they design things like, let's take Microsoft, their software Windows, you find out that they keep having versions because people are testing it and trying it, and when they try it and it's not working properly, they go back and give you version 1, version 2, this and that, because they are refining and developing it to meet the need of the users. All right, so with this, I think we have understood what design thinking is, how we need to make sure that we put these things together, and then some of the techniques we need to use, like in the define stage, Those techniques I say you can do, use your empathy map, use your stakeholder map, bring out your insight, bring out the problem statement using your POV. Examples, I gave you examples of the POV and the template. You can also look up this thing in Google and get a template to be able to analyze your project perfectly well. When you do that, you state your how might we statement. When you have your how might we statement, it will feed into the brainstorming session you're going to have in your ideation. When you have the ideation, brainstorming session of your ideation, you will be able to come up with a solution relating to your personnel and people who definitely need this. And this will help you to be able to define or design your prototype. And when you design those prototypes, you'll be able to do what? To be able to now put it up as your MPV, minimum viable product for testing. By the time you do this, you are adding value to yourself, the business, the community, and then you are impacting, and then you are also changing lives. Yeah, this is where we say thank you for listening to this course, Design Thinking for Innovation. If you have any question, I am ready to take questions. And then if you need me to put you through, you have my contacts shown here. You can reach me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, or through Ugwumba Enterprise Challenge. I'm very happy that you're here to listen to us. And then okay, I got one question now. What is the difference between how might we and POV? Very good. POV is your point of view. Like I gave you the template. You bring your personnel, you put the problem and the insight in it. For example, like the one I showed you, let me go back to the POV so you see, and then you will now understand how POV leads you to how might we. Okay? Okay. Now, the POV, which is your problem statement, look at it. You get the personnel, the needs of the user, and the insights. Do you understand that? Now you say Harry is a personnel, for example. I always use it because I know it will be a bit confusing. So if you have a business, that's why I'm asking. I don't know what is your business. Now, what do you want to solve? You can say Ada or Grace, okay, needs a way, okay, to entertain her playful children because these children irritate frustrated passenger. If you want to solve a problem of irrigation in a farm, maybe agro business, you can take a personnel after all your interview, your research. You can say, John, okay, for example, needs a way, okay, to reduce drought or to make the crop in the farm gain more water. I'm just saying irrigation. Are you with me? Because crops in the farm are dying. Do you understand? So you are trying to bring out your problem as POV, point of view. Now, this will now help you when you are elaborating on the problem statement to make it bigger. The point of view give you a point of view, and then when you are now explaining the problem statement, you have the main problem. Then the how might we gives you an opportunity to bring out plenty. How can I solve this problem? How can I solve the problem of irrigation? How can I solve the problem of drought in my farm? How can I, many problems that is being associated with that irrigation, you can now bring how might we. Those how might we are now leading question that takes you into your ideation where you can now brainstorm and have solution to those problems. Do you understand? Thank you, Engineer Chidi. The class is very rich. Yes, it is a practical class, but I try to see what I can give in 1 hour. And then I'm linking you to the stakeholder map. Please go online. If I'm able to put it on Ugwumba, I can give a template. But if you go online, you will see a stakeholder map. The knowledge is very important for you to understand. You see a stakeholder map. I don't know if you can see me. You can have something like this. This is what I use. And also, even in Tech Women, an alumni of Tech Women, you can see these are some of the things we use when we are analyzing projects. This is a stakeholder map. You can see the stakeholder by the side, and then you bring it to um, the center, and then you start grouping them how it leads to the project. So if you go online, you will see a stakeholder map that will help you put all your insights. And then because when you don't put them down, you don't get insight. But when you put them down as you look, okay, this will lead to this will lead to that, you know. Okay. Wonderful moment with you, ma'am. Very happy that some of you listened because as I was not getting feedback, I was wondering, but I'm happy that this 1 hour has been useful. And those who will look at it later on, I'm sure they are going to get some of these templates. Please don't forget to write out your POV for your project or business idea as a startup. Don't forget to bring out how might we. Please, ma, can we have the slide? Yes, Ugwumba, they have it. I've uploaded it. I think they can share with you. All right, you have the slide and then understand because some of the slides don't have all the content, just for you to get the insight and be able to use it. And then learn to use your empathy map in your definition state. Empathy map helps you to bring out your problem definition also. So whichever method resonates with you, you can use. Okay. How might we solve the educational problem in Nigeria? Very good. This is one question. So start asking yourself many of those questions. How might you? Is it for you to get qualified teachers? Put them down. How might you? Is it for you to have and curriculum reorganized? How might we solve that educational problem? Is it for you to have teachers trained? How might we? You see, so those things will give you, ma, your details is not clear. I mean, your IG page. Okay, my Instagram page. Okay, let me go back there. Okay. So for that, how might we, if you understand that, you'll be able to do that. Now for my Instagram page, let me show you. You can get this. Let's go to the last. Okay. For LinkedIn, okay, just type Priscilla Okechukwu. This is a link. Maybe you'll not be able, but if you have the can copy the link. Just type Priscilla Okechukwu. You will get me there. Instagram at Prissy Okechukwu. You will see me there. YouTube, okay, Priscilla Okechukwu, Learn with Prissy. You will see me. And also Facebook, also Priscilla Okechukwu. Are you with me? So that is my detail. And then you can chat with me on LinkedIn. I'm there too for on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube not all the time, and then Facebook also we can chat. So I'm happy and I wish to say thank you for this opportunity. And then thank you to Ugwumba Enterprise Challenge for giving me this opportunity to impact the little knowledge I have on design thinking. And I am very hopeful that you can reach me on those my pages and then we can talk more. And then I would like to say bye for now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Priscilla, for your time again this year. I'm sure
Yes,
that yeah, the message will keep impacting on the participants. Just like they
exactly.
said, we're going to share the slide so that
Mm-hmm.
they can have it, at their beck and call. So
Yeah.
at this juncture, I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much for always
Thank
being
you.
part of
It's a pleasure.
my
It's a
enterprise.
pleasure. Thank you. Eyes are
Thank
run
you so
away.
much. We wish you,
Bye.
yeah, we wish you safe stay in the US.
Yes,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Bye for
God
now.
bless you.
Thank you,
All
and you
right.
too.
Thank you.
Bye.